All right. Get that warm up going. Let this play out a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. Making sure that we're live streaming on Swissbeatbox. Once again, we're back. Episode 22. I said episode 22. Thank you very much for tuning on in. Beyond the Beats, Swiss Beatbox podcast. I'm your host, Scott Jackson. Thank you guys for tuning on in. And once again, I'm happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to having this conversation and talking about beatboxing. I hope you guys have had a good start to your week and had a great weekend. A lot of stuff's happened in the beatbox world, and it's exciting times. So, once again, Beyond the Beats, episode 22. We're here, live and direct. Let's get this thing going. Let's get this thing cracking. It's my pleasure to introduce to you our guest today, hailing from Portugal, Mr. Pedro Campos, a.k.a. the Portuguese bass cannon, a.k.a. the one, the only, the legendary MixFX.
Oh, la, 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 la.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
What's up? Good, man. I'm super excited for this. How are you?
I'm good. I'm better now. I get to go and see your face, talk to you.
Let's go.
It's been a pleasure hosting battles with you this year, and now I get to go and talk to you about some beatbox stuff, man.
Yes, sir. Let's do this.
Everything else is good, though. You're feeling good. You're feeling awake. You're feeling alive, enthusiastic.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You want to get into this?
Let's do this, man. Let's do this.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to go and kick it off. Episode 22. Thank you for tuning on in. Spread this around and give this a thumbs up if you have any questions that you want to ask Mr. MixFX. Jeez. Type them on in and we'll pick out some of the best comments and questions to go and ask at the end of this. But yeah, I really like to go and start this off. And every single time, thank you for coming on in, man. Thank you for being on, first of all.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I'm super excited for this. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Pleasure to be here with you. Man, super blessed.
Yeah, man, it's great to go and again have you on and looking up your career and seeing what you've done with beatboxing. It's been interesting for me to go and see and being like, wow, a lot of stuff I didn't know and excited to go and talk about and get into because it's an interesting tale that you have where you're getting into it and how it started off and all that stuff. But right off the bat, on a while ago, I saw you made a post and it was just a very simple thing saying, without beatboxing, there is no life. And that was from a long time ago, actually. But I saw that on there and I thought that was a good quote to go and start off with because that's true. I love beatboxing. I'm so happy that you have that same passion for it. So when you first started beatboxing, from what I can tell, and tell me if I'm wrong on this, but you played video games and you were online and you'd be an event server or maybe it was a TeamSpeak server and it was for Counter-Strike and you were chilling there with guys like Smithy and Heaven and Heat and people of that echelon. And when you started hearing beatboxing, you just took to it. Is that kind of how you started into the beatbox world?
It's kind of like that. Yes. I started beatboxing right after I saw this commercial on TV. Everybody saw this. Pulpo. He got me into beatboxing. I didn't know what he was doing. And it got me very curious. So I looked for human sounds, mouth music, mouth sounds, until I found an interview by Reeps One for Beatbox Battle TV. And I watched that till the end. It was the first beatbox video I've seen after Pulpo. So in that interview, Reeps One talks about a forum called humanbeatbox.com. And I searched for that. I enter humanbeatbox.com and I find a forum where people talk about beatboxing, talk about ways of connecting online. And me being from Madeira, being from an island, I didn't know anybody that beatboxed at the time. So I thought, this is cool. Let's try to join and meet people. So this was Chromium.typefrag in Ventrilo long time ago, almost 10 years ago. Man, I met guys like Heat, BBK, C-Fresh, Young, Smithy, all of those guys, and Alem, Kim, Big Ben, all of those guys at the time I used to see on the internet. And man, it just got me so excited with it. And I just kept on going. The passion kept on rising, and I kept on beatboxing. That's really how I really got into this.
And you got, again, the way that you took to it was like you very rapidly learned and were just like getting so good so quickly. Do you think that having that online presence and that availability of hearing such high level beatboxing at any point in the day where you can just log on and you're just like, oh, there's these 10 guys, oh, there's these 10 people that are going to go beatbox and hear it at a high level, really influenced and helped you along to go and improve so fast?
Yeah, for sure. Having this contact with beatboxers that already battled at the time made me realize that beatboxing was not just beatboxing; it was way more than beatboxing, and got me interested in understanding music, understanding how sounds are made, and understanding how I can make sounds and how my vocals work, my mouth works, how everything can be done. So I was hours and hours looking for more information and talking with different beatboxers. Me being from Portugal, the time zones were always so different, but I always got away into talking with Americans, Canadians, Australians, and all this contact made me get a lot of influence from different sides of the world and made me get so passionate about learning new sounds and trying to make my own sounds. And yeah, man, that was pretty much it. Yeah.
And again, was this mostly through after you got into it? Is it just the online thing? The online scene again is something that I'm still new to and I'm still trying to figure out and kind of navigate through. But like, you were tech savvy already. You already played games online. You already had that idea of how it worked. And then having beatboxing, being able to hang out with these people, make friends, as you said, and connections from around the world. It's just interesting to me to see how now we're back to that style of there's only that availability really, except for the Florida beatbox battle that just happened. Big ups for the Florida beatbox battle. And River, congratulations again on taking another W, brother. But like just that online component of it, it's just interesting to me to go and think about that and the difference of learning online and having friends that you know online and you know very well. But when is it that you ever met the first beatboxer that you actually knew? Because again, you live in Portugal, but you're on the island, an island portion of it. So it's not like the mainland, and it's hard to go and travel and find other beatboxers. But did you find anybody on the island that actually beatboxed?
So for the couple, I think probably 3-4 years, I didn't know anybody until there was an hip hop event coming up, and I heard there was beatboxers there. I didn't know about, and I heard there was battle rap going on. It was the first time battle rapping was here, and they proposed to me if I wanted to battle another beatboxer. Shout out to Beatbox, that's the name of the guy. And yeah, that's where I met the first beatboxer, and we battled. It was not this super competitive kind of thing. It was more of a awareness kind of thing. Like we are here, we can do sounds with our mouth, and just showing people what we can do. Like beatboxing exists. It was pretty sick. It was amazing. It was yeah.
And after that happens and you meet him in real life, also, did you win the battle? Was that a judge battle, or was
it was kind of not judged battle, but yeah, a lot of people cheered for me, so I kind of got a prize, like a sweatshirt. It was yeah. Yeah, man.
That's awesome. And after you meet him, do you take contacts and then start figuring out the Portuguese scene and seeing what's out there?
Yeah. The Portuguese scene at the time was in transition from one org to another org. One guy had done a couple of championships, and then another guy came into the scene, and the other guy kind of left a little bit, and he made 2 years of championships, and I was like, I should participate, and this is my time. And when I got really ready, everything stopped for 4 years.
Yeah, that was that 2000. What was it?
From 2014.
2014, yeah. It took a break, and then 2018 comes back, and that's actually where you go in and you battle. You get third place in the solos in 2018.
Yes.
And 2019, obviously, you come back, Loop Station champion.
Yes.
taking a quick dub and come in second place with the tag team that you had. So again, a little bit of a brag there for you, but that's another thing too. It's just interesting to me to go and think about the idea of like, okay, there's this national battle going on. I've met a real beatboxer. I've been doing beatbox battles online. You were killing a lot of the daily stuff and a lot of those team speak battles and event battles and stuff. I saw a bunch of them and listened to a bunch of them, and it's, again, 2013 is a year where you started putting out. You did a wild card for like the online beatbox competition for Portugal Beatbox, and like, again, you're starting to get into the scene, starting to get into the battles more and more, and then you have the opportunity for a national battle, but then it goes away. So how hard is that as people that a lot of countries don't have national championships yet, or they have issues with organization of who's going to do it, who's going to make sure that it actually happens? So how important do you think it is to go and have that thing to work towards, and having it taken away? What did that do to you when you were like sitting there being like, I practiced and now I don't have a national champs to go to, and it's you know, you're still practicing for online stuff, but what was that like to go and have not a national championships to work towards?
Man, it was a kind of a heartbreak because I was preparing to battle. I always wanted to be national champion. But at that time, I realized that beatboxing was not just competitions. I could do more. Since there's no battles, I can do more. So right after that, like the championships stopped, I started getting recognition in my island. I started doing shows, going in radio shows, doing clubs, festivals, and stuff. And it really got me into a different side of beatboxing, which is beatboxing as an entertaining art, as a show type of act. And it's completely different because I was focusing on competition and slowly turning to show. It's totally different. Got me into a different mindset. I got in shows more of trying to raise awareness for beatboxing and try to get more people to beatbox and get more people in contact with beatboxers and make this a thing in Madeira. And I kind of think I got it, because there's a lot of beatboxers coming out. I think there's 15 or 16 beatboxers in the island right now. So yeah, it's growing. We're doing stuff. So let's go. Yeah. That's
awesome, man. So you're the godfather of Madeira for beatboxing?
Not really, but yeah, I was doing some stuff. Yeah. There's also an older guy than me. He's been beatboxing for I think 27 years. He does echoes. You might have seen him in any Got Talent show. His name is Echo Man. And yeah, man, he's been doing this for way longer than me, but I didn't really know him. But as soon as I got out and made shows, people kind of just got into each other, and there's more of a sense of a community right now. So yeah.
That's awesome. And have you met Echo Man finally yet, or no? Is that still someone?
Yes, sir. We do jams. We do jams often.
Really?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Performing together live?
Not really, but like jams, just jams, meeting up in the park and jamming, sharing ideas. There's also Napping. There's another beatbox. Napping is my tag team partner.
Napping is your tag team partner. Yes.
Yeah. There's another beatboxer called Kaisha. There's Coil. There's a lot of beatboxers coming up. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing to know.
Do you think that in the future, when relative normalcy comes back, do you think that there's going to be a possibility of you having a beatbox battle on your island, just for the island itself?
I'm hoping on that. I'm vowing for that. Like it's something that needs to happen.
I would like to see that. That'd be awesome. And you also, another thing I was going to ask is, when did you start? It was like the Portugal Online Beatbox League?
Portugal Beatbox League.
Portugal Beatbox League. What inspired? Oh, what?
Sorry. It's not for online only. It's we started to do the championships in 2018.
Very cool. That's when, because you said that after you basically that the SBX video that you did really got you a lot of notoriety. That one that's a 17-year-old bass, and obviously it's up to like 115,000 views. and you got some attention from that, and you really started pushing the shows. And then you said you talked to like JWoww and Oliver, and you guys both, or Olivieri. I have problems with names sometimes.
Oliveira, that's his name. Oliveira. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So you guys talked together and said, okay, we got to bring back the national championships to go and have the championships for Portugal, obviously, and you want to go and produce that. But having that, again, it's just, man, to go and have that SBX video blow you up, start performing, and then all of a sudden you're one of the main guys to go and organize and see it happen and see it come through to fruition. How was it for you to go to the first Portuguese beatbox battle that you went to in 2015, I think it was, or wait, 2018? 18, yes. Yeah. But how was that for you? Because you have yet to go to an international battle. You would have gone to Florida because you placed first in the wild cards this year. Yes. But unfortunately, due to restrictions on travel, you couldn't make it. But how was it to go and actually go for 2018 and meet up with the national championships in Portugal for you and meet all these other beatboxers?
Ah, man, it was a totally wholesome experience. I have already met these guys online, and meeting them in person and jamming to them and sharing ideas was a totally different thing. It was something else. But going a little bit back, our scene kind of died in 2014, and when in around 2017, in the middle of the year, a guy called Pablo, he's one of the OGs of our community. He kind of did a Facebook group with me and a couple of other guys like Radio, Days, Zach Person, and Oak, and we kind of got together and made this battle happen because we needed this happening. The community was needing it, and it was the right time at the right place. We had no experience organizing events, but this was it for us. We did it in a parking lot. It was pretty underground, but it was amazing.
And again, battling online and battling in real face-to-face, real life, actually seeing the person, and just in general, online versus in real life, and being with somebody doing it. What are the biggest differences for you personally?
Man, the crowd impact is something else. It's what makes it all worth it. Online battling, everybody's focused on the beat, and everybody's focused on what the beatboxer can do, on the skills, and they can hear it perfectly. Live, it's a totally different experience. Is the approach of the beatboxer to the microphone, the approach of the beatboxer to the other beatboxer, the approach of the beatboxer to the crowd. It's a whole different experience. It's way more how to say, man, it makes me way more happy to be on stage than just battling online. But yeah, I can see the value on battling online, because there's a lot of people that don't have this opportunity to go to live events. So it's a good place to evolve and to get into battling. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, man, it's crazy now too, like to see all the national champions and people that are crushing championships right now. A lot of them came from that online community and used to be on all the time, being on Vent and being on Discord and all these things from before. And like, again, I mentioned him a lot on the show, but Heat's one of the guys where he's always been like harping on me, being like, oh, you got to go and check out the online stuff, Scott. You don't know what you're missing. And I was being like, oh, I just do the stuff, and go to the shows and, trying to do that. And he's like, no, you got to listen. And this year, especially since I started doing online hosting and getting into it more, the amount of talent is remarkable to hear all these new guys that I've never heard of before. And it's somebody that's world level class, can go and smash it for sure any stage if they have the opportunity, but they're online still battling. So what do you suggest for people that are online battling, if they want to pursue it and go to real events? What do you suggest is a good way to go and cross over from the online scene into actually battling in real life and trying to go to real events and stuff?
I'd say practicing with a microphone is very important, but also getting that mindset that battling online is not the same as stage. has to be there and has to make the beatboxer try to improve himself as an artist. But taking the step is the most important. Like it's the key move that beatboxer has to make. Stage battling is amazing. But again, not taking credit out of battling online. It's such a great how to say playground for the beatboxer to just evolve. Even if he doesn't win, I know that if he doesn't win this week, next week he will become, let's say, top 4, and the other week he's gonna become maybe top 2, and in the other week he's gonna win a battle, and that's how the beatboxer will get confident and go to really live battles. That's it.
100%, man. The online scene is crazy. It's amazing, and you've done a lot. You were saying just before we started this, but I saw it because you put a post out. You said you've done like 60 events, from judging to hosting to, participating and stuff in them as well. So what have you seen that's been different from the online scene evolution? Can you just explain to people how the scene since when you started back in about 2010 is when I started, or 2010, 2011. So from then till now, so that 10 years that you've been on, how have you seen the scene grow, and what are your comments and thoughts on it? Has it grown in what you'd say like is a right direction, or are there things that need to be improved on overall?
Man, it's such a different impact from 2011, which was where I started online, to right now. Everything has changed. The game has changed. Beatboxing has changed. The way that people pick up sounds has changed. And I've seen beatboxers come back to the online scene on this quarantine, and it's become such a crazy type of event. There's no crowd, but still the battle is such a crazy moment. And shout out to Decoy, because he had a key role in this. It was a pleasure to work with Decoy for GBB Online, with Swissbeatbox. Crazy event with you too, man. It was such a host bros, yes, for sure. Man, it was such a key move to have GBB Online, and made the online scene get more recognition, and have the beatboxers that really battled online have this mindset that they're not only beatboxers for online, but they can do anything out of online. And I think we kind of put both together, both live and online, and now everything is together, and beatboxers can do anything together. So yeah.
And do you see currently there's any issues that have come up? Because I've seen little stuff here and there on online stuff, and heard whispers. Like I remember 2018 when you were on Beatbox Talk. Shout out to Beatbox Talk, by the way. Steve Fresh and BBK and Decoy. When you talked about this thing called dub chord that was on there, and how there were some issues with that because of just people acting certain ways on it. So how do you again, I don't have the experience, so I don't know about it, but how does someone like Decoy or someone like you, when you're running events, how do you keep it a server clean essentially, and how do you make it a positive space and not make it somewhere where someone goes and just like wants to go and quit beatboxing, or gets teared down because they're doing something that people are just being critical of, but not even in like a positive, here's how you can go and make it better, just being basically rude. So how do you keep an online scene clean and positive essentially?
I think the servers that are still alive right now, for example, Beatbox Community or Beatbox International, I think they do something good, especially community. I know that Decoy looks for very good people to moderate the server and have the server clean. If there's anything going wrong, there's a lot of rules. If they don't respect the rules, moderators will ban them, or there's mutes, there's kicks, there's wherever. And with a good staff team, with a respectable staff team, I think everything can be running on a good note, make beatboxers want to beatbox, make beatboxers want to evolve together. And yeah, I think Decoy did a very good job with this staff team. I was a part of it for a while. Man, it's amazing. It's amazing how everything is handled.
Yeah, man. And is there anything else, just in the online scene in general? Who are the people that you would say when you first started jamming, other than the people you already mentioned, but who are some people that you really worked hard with online and had that opportunity that took the time to go and be like, oh, you want to learn? And you guys got a lot of jamming time when you very first started in 2011.
Wow. I'd say for me to evolve, I was working a lot with the Canadians, BBK, C Fresh. Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
Young.
Yes, young.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Also, Decoy. Decoy was very young, but I was already beatboxing with him. Um, Also, Asian styles. But also, the scene has gone a little different. And I got into knowing the Portuguese guys, from Zach Person to G Wow to Oliveira, and those guys kind of inspired me to own my country's name and just be out there and be together with them and make stuff with them and evolve together. We were jamming for I'd say when this was like summer vacation, we would jam for 4 or 5 hours, trying to learn new stuff, trying to teach each other new stuff, and yeah, that's really how I got inspired, how I grew myself as a beatboxer.
That's Team Canada in the building. I'm happy about
Yes,
that.
sir. Yes, sir.
Canada. But and what is it that you got so interested in? How did you get so involved in being the host and being the guy that got involved with all these online things? Was it just being present and, you know, someone would say, hey, we're doing the daily battle here, or, hey, we're doing this over here? Because I've seen that you now, again, looking into your career and seeing all the things that you've hosted and helped organize and continue to do online, how is it that you just got to that and like continued it and continued it and continued it? Because it's, I will say, even for myself, hosting live battles drains me, and it's something that's hard to go in because you're standing up, walking around. There's, you know, lights and people, so you got to be always energetic and like, are you guys ready? Let's get this thing, and always put, you know, get that energy going.
Yeah.
But then even online, I will say, with the Mad Meal battle that just happened, was like back-to-back days of 5 to 6 hours of being online and still trying to keep it up and trying to keep up that energy and stuff. But how is it that you've been able to get into so much of the online scene and so well recognized online, aside from not only just being an amazing beatboxer, but being an event organizer and host? And how do you just keep yourself inspired to continuously be like, oh, we're going to do another 60 events. Let's keep on going.
Oh man, it was I was grateful for after GBB. A little bit over before GBB, I was working with Alem for his first Discord event, Discalem. That's how I really got into the organization with Swissbeatbox and Beatbox community for GBB. And right after that, I got invites from everybody, not everybody, but a lot of brands, to host or to judge, or to help them set up the server, or to help them connect with judges. And man, I wasn't really tired of it. I just got into helping people, and it just got me excited by helping people, just going in events and meeting new beatboxers that I didn't know existed, and learning that you can do this sound on this place. Man, I've never thought of that. How does this guy do this? How does this guy does that? It got me very inspired. And from the Latin scene to the European scene to the Asian scene, man, there's a lot of crazy beatboxers that people don't really know about, and it just got me very excited throughout these all of these events.
Yeah, man, and as you've been putting it in, even when you got into that one video that Bunny Fluff originally put out, and it's up to almost like 2 million views, and there's heat, there's you, and it's like the best ever Discord party or best ever online party, beatbox party. So you want, like, spending time online and knowing these people, knowing people of that echelon who eventually become Codfish and go and win GBB, and puts you at that again, that same upper echelon of the online community of not status wise, but more just being recognized for the effort that you put in and the amount of time that you're there constantly working and improving. So how did that come up where you got invited to go and be like, oh, we're going to play a game and we're going to record it, and also we're going to get 2 million views?
Man, I was friends with Codfish for a while. I think I met him in 2012, 2013, online. He had like 20K subs, and he was into doing these these Call of Duty parties online, and he just invited me and Dilo and Heat and Mello from Denmark and Tales from Portugal as well. Man, at the time I didn't really know what was going on, but as soon as the video got out, everybody was cheering us up. Man, such a crazy feeling. I didn't even know I could get so many views along these crazy beatboxers. I didn't even realize I was this beatboxer on this video. It was just a normal party with my friends, you know.
And then it came out and blew up.
Man, yeah, pretty much.
And let me go back to the Portuguese scene in general as well. When everything's on hold, that's one thing that does kind of, you know, it's difficult to go and think about really. But when stuff does come back, are you still trying to go and pursue to be the solo champ? Do you want to go and win? Is that still high on your list to go and win, or are you going to be going more into the organizational and hosting side of it? What are your ambitions in Portugal specifically when it comes to beatboxing competitions?
Obviously, I would love to be solo champion, but it's not really on the top of my list. I'm just trying to get the scene back together after this quarantine, after this pandemic, and just have brands support us. Because in Portugal, it's not really a thing, or at least we haven't got there yet. Brands don't really support beatboxing, at least for now. But I hope that I can reach some brands, and along my brothers of Portugal Beatboxing, we can just make this happen. Yeah, man. Another championship, another battle, helping organize again, battling as well. Man, it's just an amazing feeling.
I want to see that happen, come to fruition. Be good to go and be able to introduce you into the world champs. If you were to win, man, it'd be an awesome time. People would be going like this. MixFX coming at you live and direct. And you've also been putting out stuff basically since 2011 when you started off. You've been putting out a lot of content and continuously updating it, and even stuff on your SoundCloud. When I looked it up, you know, from 2013 you had Water Drop Minimal and Gangsta Mouth and Bass Going Down and New Style of Doing It, and you just keep on putting out these things on SoundCloud and on YouTube. You've been putting out videos as well. And what do you see? What was your reaction when you first started putting that stuff out? Not from the beatbox community specifically, but from friends and family that saw you doing this and pursuing. What is like the story? I just want to know about your parents' reaction when they start hearing kind of these weird noises coming from your room. Most beatboxers have to deal with this. So what was your parents' reaction to it?
At first, my parents didn't really support it. But as soon as they saw that I was getting these comments and people sharing my stuff, people actually liking my stuff, and as soon as I got shows, my parents saw, man, he's doing this, he's making shows, he's beatboxing. This is something good for him. It's actually something that he's doing for himself, and they just from there they just started supporting me as they can, and everything they can, sharing, supporting, giving opinions, which is good. Yeah. And
were they in the crowd when you won the Loop Station Championship?
Nah, they weren't there. They weren't there. Shoot.
What did they say when you came home with the first place from that?
They didn't really believe it. It was a different experience coming from Madeira, man. Like, people don't really understand beatboxing much as we understand it, and I'm just trying to tell them more and more and more about it, and I hope one day they can really understand what this is.
It's an interesting parallel of in Portugal you're kind of like the I guess would be kind of like Spain's Litos because he's on an island as well, Majorca, and then you're on the island as well, and you're trying to push this thing and get shows and stuff.
Yeah.
So I saw that you were talking about it, that you're doing festivals and showcases at clubs and stuff. But is that something that you personally book yourself, or do you have people and I guess managers / agent that do that for you, or is that something that you are personally booking your own shows and figuring out how to go and get into these opportunities to showcase?
Or the festivals organizers and the owners of places just hit me up, email me, and I just get booked to do shows. It's been a blessing showcasing. It's a amazing feeling. I love it. I love it.
Awesome. And you're you also went to you went to university for education science. Is that something that is outside of beatboxing? What is not MixFX, but what does Pedro do in his spare time? And also, what do you do for career-wise and stuff that you're working on, if you don't mind me asking?
Okay, so I got a bachelor in pedagogy education, and right now I'm starting my master's actually in 2 weeks from now. I really wanted to just go in special education and just work with that. I'm really interested by that, and I would love to have this middle term and connect both beatboxing with special education and make something happen. You know, I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do, but I for sure want to connect both, for sure.
There's a lot of people that have been doing that crossover, that are educated and have this beatboxing passion that they have, and they're merging them and bringing it into new places. So it's interesting that you say that, because I've seen online just friends in the scene that I'm like, wow, you have, you know, a university degree, and now you're going for your master's, but they're pairing beatboxing into it, making it into studies, putting it into what it is. And it's great to go and see, because I think it just continuously, when people like yourself and others are going to be doing that, pairing the two, it just continuously legitimizes our art form and people actually taking it seriously. So is there an idea that you have of how you would pair the two of them in the future?
I'm not really sure. I'm trying to just take the theory first and just be objective right after that, and just work towards connecting both. But I'm sure I will do something with it. I'm positive. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's something to watch for, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure that you guys tuned in, and he'll be talking more about that as he goes into his master's degree. By the way, congratulations.
Thank you, man.
And
Thank you.
Shadow Sumo.
Shadow Sumo.
Talk to me about it. Talk to me about it, because that's something that I've seen that you guys have gone back and forth pushing how low you can get your bass to go, and you connect with the boys. So talk to me about that experience of being with Big Ben and Kim and training with them and explaining that to them, to the people. Man.
It was such a humbling thing, because I loved from the beginning. I loved bassline, and being with Kim and Big Ben sometimes on Ventrilo made me just pursue it. And Shadow Sumo was this thing where I got connected with them. Man, yeah, Shadow Sumo is not just an expression. It's a way of being in the scene, a way of being in life. And eating spaghetti is very good. That's pretty much it. Pasta
and avocado.
Avocado, guacamole.
Could you also tell me, is there studio, I think it was where you performed and recorded your shout out for SBX, and also I believe it was, what was the video that you had? You did one with Josie D, Beats Rhymes Fusion at EStudio. Is EStudio a local studio on the island? And how did you get connected up with them to go and use their space?
So that's an amazing story, actually. Studio 21. It's a music school / music store / studio. And I came up to the store because I saw on their site that they had the RC505, and I went there to just test it out. And I was talking to the guy and told them that I was beatboxing, and man, we just got really good friends, and he recorded me. He's a producer, and he wanted to understand how beatboxing works on his DAW. So he was recording myself and just editing and trying to mix it as best as he could, and it was a good project we had together. And Josie D is a rapper. He's from Cape Verde. Man, it was such a crazy experience. I loved it. It was my first time beatboxing to to some rhymes, and I loved it.
That's always it's a difficult thing to do if you've never done it, and working with people and collaborating is something that's always a learning curve, right? Because when I started beatboxing, my main thing wasn't necessarily to go and beatbox and do more than just, it was providing a beat for a cipher, you know? Because before
Yeah.
it was people just banging on the wall, just doing kind of that, doing that beat on the lockers and stuff, and they're like, all of a sudden you learn how to beatbox. Okay, we can change it up. We don't have someone just hurting their knuckles, going back and forth and hitting tables, and then actually going and pursuing beatboxing and trying to figure out more sounds and stuff is a different animal altogether. And yeah, man, you've been going. You've also been, as you said before, getting on interviews and doing TV, radio. And 2018, you no, 2018, I think it was. Maybe I'm wrong here. Yeah, 2018, you're on Madeira Viva on RTP. And
Yes.
how's that?
Yes.
How's that to go on TV in your area and have family and friends actually see you on TV perform and talk about beatboxing in the national championships?
Yeah, man. I didn't know. I didn't know. It was a totally different experience for me. Being on TV is such a different experience. But I'm glad they actually invited me in and like let me talk about beatboxing and on TV. Man, it was a good moment. It got me some more recognition, and I just love to tell people about beatboxing. Yeah, that's it.
It's good, man. I don't know, man. You've had a good go so far, and again, during these times, you've not been slacking at all. You've been putting out, you put out your last video, Akuma, on YouTube, and you've done another wild card for GBB, and that's something that I think you've been working toward, because I've seen a lot of your Grand Beatbox Battle wild cards, and they're all smashing. And is that something that is on your list as well? Like, can you kind of give me a few absolute goals you have in beatboxing if you were to be able to obtain them? Like, you want to get on GBB stage, maybe win solo championships in Portugal, but is there anything else that specifically you have in your mind that you have like a goal you're working towards in the beatbox scene, battle wise and performance wise?
Yeah, from the very beginning, I really wanted to just get in an international event and get into the world champs. And man, GBB is such a thing for me, such a bucket list type of thing for me. So I'm just working towards it, and I'd love to be on that stage. It's a absolute honor. Yeah, so I just keep on practicing wildcards and keep on making the best I can so that I can get into competitions. And
Yeah,
I got Florida, so
you got Florida, and it
yeah.
would have happened, but silly, annoying restrictions, and for people's safety, that needs to happen. Fair enough, but it would have loved to see you on stage on the live stream and be able to watch it and be like, yes,
Oh.
there he is. So I don't know. You haven't necessarily gone to an international event yet in real life, in person. And what do you think would be, you said in 2018 when you were on the Beatbox Talk thing, you're like, if I go, even if I don't make it, I just want to go and actually meet all the people in real life, and I have that opportunity. And could you just, again, we talked about it a little bit before, but how important is it to meet people in real life and actually have that, physical looking and jamming face to face rather than over the internet? Is that something that you consider to be like much of importance, and is that something
Yeah.
that you just gotta
sure.
talk about that?
I just wanna meet all of these guys I've been talking for years, man. It's amazing to talk to them online, amazing to meet them online and jam and share ideas. But man, just chilling with them live, not even just battling. I don't really, battling is not the main thing. I just want to meet these people, like just have a beer, talk about life. That's it, man. That's my goal. I just want to go to events. That's it. I need to go. Let's do it.
MixFX 2021 will be at events.
Let's go.
Are you guaranteeing that? Are you guaranteeing that if they
Yeah.
happen?
Yes. Yes.
All right, you heard it here. If life gets back to some normalcy, there will be a MixFX and an event near you.
Let's go.
Oh man, and could you just outside of beatboxing, what else do you like doing, man? Because people have sent me messages as well asking and being like, you talk a lot about their career in beatboxing, and we find out maybe other jobs they've had and stuff, but can you kind of tell the people what else you enjoy, other sports wise? Is there stuff and other hobbies that you have that you pursue?
Man, outside beatboxing, outside my bachelor's, outside my classes, I just like to be with my friends and just enjoy sunsets and drink a good beer, a good juice. Man, just watch the sea flow. That's it, man. I just like to chill with my friends. That's it, and my family, especially my family. Family is key to everything, man.
And do you have brothers and sisters?
Yes, I do. My brother just got in university, actually. He's gonna be how to say it in English? He's gonna be an engineer of I think technology. I think that's how you say it in English. Yeah, yeah. That's it. That's it.
And does he have any interest in beatboxing other than hearing you do it?
Not really.
Or
Not really. Not really.
he's never been like, yo, teach me. Can you teach me?
Nah, he's not really into beatboxing, but he's a totally different type of person that I am. He's a great guy. He's 18 now. Man, it's been crazy to watch my brother grow as an adult now. He doesn't like beatboxing, but that's fine. Not everybody has to be the same.
That's true. Well, I think most beatboxers are somewhat considered different by people that don't beatbox. Are always just like, "What are you doing over there?" And
Yeah.
Also, growing up, were you ever musically trained? Because that's something I found a lot of people. Do you ever like have a piano or have people that played music that you'd be interested in learning, or is that just something that as soon as you started beatboxing, you switched over and started paying attention to it more?
I was interested at one point in learning guitar. I got a guitar, but I never really got lessons. But yeah, I was always thinking about music. I always loved the tone of like different voices, and I was very interested and curious about instruments, especially the electric guitar. I was always very into that noise and sound and the way they do it. But I never really got into it. But beatboxing came along just perfectly.
Yeah, and another question that people had asked, and I saw when I put up the story, wanted to go and ask you, and I want to know too, is how do you train bass? It's a simple question, but a pretty complex answer, somewhat I think. But how did you train your bass to get so low and get to that like other echelon and row down of actual like octave of sound and bass? So how do you go about training your bass specifically?
It went from just trying other people's bass lines. Shout out to Reap Swan, shout out to Big Ben, Slizzard. Those guys really got me into just trying to understand how bassline works. And I was hours and hours just looking for stuff they did and trying to understand what they did. And I was trying to do it myself. And throughout the years, I saw a lot of vocal techniques. And one day I saw a woman on YouTube doing overtone singing. And I was very interested in that. So I thought, can I do overtone singing while I'm doing bassline? And I came up with, which is a different modulation, So yeah, that's pretty much how I got into bassline. Talking about training, I'd say you shouldn't train more than 2 hours per day, and hydration is key for everything. I've heard stories of people that overdo it and overtrain that start bleeding, and that's not good. That's not good. Just stay conscious that you cannot do more than 2 hours, and you have to hydrate yourself. That's it. Drink water.
Fits it in. And how often do you say you practice a day? Currently.
Right now, I'd say I don't practice much anymore, but I used to practice, I'd say, 8 to 12 hours when I was a bit younger. Yeah, I used to practice a lot, for sure. Trying new sounds, trying new stuff, just constantly trying to mix FX.
That's the meaning behind your name?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Totally.
Trying to mix the effects.
Mix the effects. Mix the sound effects. Yes, sir.
And can Can you also another question is I'm jumping around a lot just because my head's a little bit in the clouds today. But could you kind of explain to people on how people that don't have a scene in their home countries that want to build a scene, what are good suggestions and good ways of going about that and starting? Because you're one of the members that brought the Portuguese scene back. So how can you give advice for people that are trying to build a scene or bring a scene back to life, essentially?
Man, if you want to do it, you got to do it yourself. Just go and meet some other beatboxers that you really are friends with and close with, and you know that they understand beatboxing, and just make a group. And together, more than one head thinks a lot better. So you guys just get together, think of ideas, and if there's not sponsors, just raise money yourselves, and one day I'm sure you guys will get a championship, and after that another championship and another championship, and one day I'm sure you guys will get sponsors and everything will flow just right. The hardest thing is just starting.
First step's always the hardest, but once you're starting and go, eventually you start running.
Yeah, for sure.
And what else? What advice do you give for beatboxers that are just starting out currently to keep? This is something that I've asked a lot of the guests: is how do you keep an original sound? Because I find that the cycle that for beatboxers is you learn beatboxing, you look up beatboxers, you copy beatboxers to go and get the basics, and then try to emulate people that you hear. And then what's the next step of trying to keep original and think about it? Because some people get locked in that idea of just doing other people's stuff, and it's hard for them to go and, sound like themselves and make a sound that's unique. So what advice do you have for people that are trying to go and stay original and not fall into that trap of just copying people and having a hard time being original?
I'd say that copying in a first stage of when you're learning is a good thing, but you got to know when to stop copying and when to take that knowledge you had from copying and just start building your own path into beatboxing. The greatest example is not example. The greatest thing I can say is you should be remembered by being yourself and not being remembered by doing another person's stuff. So take that knowledge and just pursue something that hasn't been done, or something that makes you sound original, something that makes you happy by beatboxing. And man, just distance yourself from doing other people's stuff and start doing your stuff. That's it.
And how do you work on new routines when is it a song you hear or something that just comes to your mind and putting it together? What is the process of a MixFX new track that comes out, a new routine?
Yeah, usually one day I wake up, there's a melody on my mind, and I just gotta work with that melody, make a build up, and like make an intro, build up, a drop, and then an outro, and that's how I make my stuff. Maybe add some lyrics, and yeah, that's how I make my beats.
So you wake up with the tune in your head, and you're all of a sudden like, okay, wait a second, let me workshop this into a routine.
Yeah, for sure. That's it. That's how you start. And
hey,
you know yourself as well.
I do. Yeah, I know a couple things here and there.
Yeah, a couple things.
A couple things here. I've seen things. But you've also worn many hats, and again, jump around this conversation, sir. But you've worn many hats in the scene, from hosting to judging to organizing to battling and everything. And which one do you enjoy most personally?
Wow, that's an amazing question. I don't really know, but I'd say that everything is important, and I feel like doing all of these roles has made me a better person, and has made me more interested in beatboxing, and has made me just want to help more and make more. Organizing is amazing because you get to understand the rules of making a competition, and you get to understand how everything works. Hosting is amazing because you can connect with both participants and the crowd and just talk with people. Judging, you get to understand how you can evaluate other people's art, and how you can evaluate their art against the other guy, and choose who's best. and participating, man, is such an adrenaline. It's wow. It's something else. It's something else.
What makes a good judge in your opinion? What do you think is a good qualities to have as a judge, and how do you when you're judging, what is it that you look for other than what they, I guess, just ask you on paper to look for of here's your categories? Because a lot of places have similar stuff, but they're slightly different. So what in your opinion makes for a good judge in the beatbox community?
I'd say a good judge has to be a neutral guy. Has to be a guy that can understand where everybody is coming from, style wise, and has to be a guy that understands what the guy is doing and what the guy is trying to do, and what the guy actually delivered on the battle. I think judging from originality to presence to technique, all of these things are very important, and I think a lot of the judges have different inputs on it, and it's very important to have kind of a different judge panel, like guys that do this, guys that do that, just to have different inputs on the final decision. I think I answered your question, kind of.
Yeah, no, you did definitely, and it's
okay.
Judging is a hard thing though. It's such a weird thing to go and do sometimes, especially most judges that get put in there know the competitors, they're friends with the competitors, and it's a tough decision to go and make at the time. And I've seen that sometimes people might make decisions, and how important do you think that, like for people that have not been to live events, like you've been to the Portuguese championships, so you've seen it live, but can you explain to people online that watch this how important it is to be there live in the room to go and listen to it comparatively to watching the video back afterwards? Because I see a lot of people complain all the time being like, oh, this is rigged, this guy should have won, oh, this person, she should have lost, or like whatever it is in this scenario. And then if you were there live, the sound and everything in that room is way different than online. But can you kind of explain that for people that have never been to live events? Because I still see it to the day of people writing comments, and I'm always just like, you've never been there though. So can you give some explanation to the people, because you've had a lot of experience on the online scene and live now. So
on stage, man, it's such a different approach. The guy has to be both involved in his art and both involved in his way of connecting to both the judges, the opponent, and the crowd. It's such a different way, talking to the online beatboxers, such a different way for them to do this stuff. And yeah, the power, the presence. I'd say that the crowd control as well takes a lot of part in this. The way that the guy actually battles the other guy. Everything has a role in the final decision. And I think people only focus on beatboxing, and that's not only it. Presence, the how to say, the way the beatboxer is on stage, the way that he's just there, instead of just being sitting at home and beatboxing, the guy has to be there, has to make a stand for himself. And that's pretty much it. That's what I think about it. It's just a totally different thing. There's a lot of adding points to the final decision. Yeah,
absolutely. And a pretty generalized question, but can you give an example of, let's say, like top 3 things that you've taken away from beatboxing and that applies to your life now, and just in studies and just the way you are? Is there lessons that beatboxing has taught you, or you've known and learned through the beatboxing and beatbox community?
I'd say beatboxing has made me. I used to be a lot nervous in tension moments, and beatboxing kind of got me more relaxed. And beatboxing in my head, even in my head, makes me just be chill, and that's the main thing. Beatboxing has just made me a different person. Not really different, but just made me more confident. Yeah, that's it. Pretty much it. That's just one thing. I think confidence is key.
Confidence is key, 100%. And I found that a lot of people too, a lot of beatboxers, excuse me, they they start off, and as you said, they might not be as confident, or might be shy, or might feel nervous when they're around people. But beatboxing helps them get out of that shell and be able to go and express themselves. And it's a nice outlet for the people to express themselves. And you can control it. It's free to do. You can practice anytime, anywhere that you want to. Probably not at the dinner table. People don't appreciate food flying at them if you're eating. But you know, it's a great tool to go and get out of one shell. And when you started getting into the beatboxing too, and doing it more and more and more, and doing showcases and having the opportunities to do it at clubs, do people in your hometown and stuff, is like in your friend group, they know you as the beatboxer? Is that your main thing? They're like, oh,
yeah, even in school, man. When I was in high school, people used to just call, yo, beatboxer, come here. They used to make like this circle on outside of class, and just listen to me. It was amazing for just getting my stuff out there and be more appreciative of what I was doing just by myself at my room, just showing people I can do face to face, circle in, like, people making circles in the street and just have me beatbox for them. Man, it was an amazing feeling at the time. Kind of, that's it.
It's a good version to go and get that feedback of friends and family, to go and be like, show appreciation, show that they actually are interested in what you're doing. And before we get into rapid fire questions and questions from Paponi, and hopefully a little freestyle if you feel up to it, I want to go and know, what do you think is going to happen in the future for the online community, and what do you think is what do you think is going to happen for the future of the online beatbox community? Specifically, two things. One, as this quarantine and pandemic continues, and two, what do you think? Do you think the scene that's online will still have the same weight that it currently does if live shows and live events start coming back, or do you think it's going to kind of fade and the two are going to separate again slightly?
I don't think so. I don't think we're going to separate. I think it's going to become a way of more people to get in events. For example, if let's say Drum Beatbox Battle continues to do their online event, it will work as a qualifier for the beatboxers to actually go to the main stage. And I think it's going to still be connected, and it will give beatboxers another door to get into the live events. And I hope I hope both sides don't fall apart, because it's a good connection in my view. Yeah.
And so you think that regardless of live shows coming back, you in your opinion, the online scene, because of it's always been there, it's always been huge, from the daily beatbox battles to Beatbox Internationals to beatbox community to all the things that's from the early days in Xbox to, you can go through the list and the timeline chronologically, but all that stuff, it was always interesting to me to see how this year specifically, because of this pandemic, has really brought them together, the in real life and on stage beatboxers that might not have spent time online, and married them and put it together with the online community. And I'd love to see it continue to grow and actually become, as you said, given the opportunity, some of these people that don't have the recognition quite yet, but they've been smashing it, man. And it's something like some of the most talented beatboxers I've heard in a long time I've never heard before, and they're from online communities where I'm just like, who is this person? Where did this person come from? So I'm excited to see it keep growing.
For sure, man.
But right now, I'd like to get into the section of this show that we call Rapid Fire. Rapid fire. Rapid fire. Rapid fire. Rapid fire questions. Rapid fire. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you a few questions in a quick manner, and I want you to go and give your first answer, not to think about it too much, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, right here at Beyond the Beats, we're going to be playing Rapid Fire with my good friend, Mr. MixFX. So, Rapid Fire. First question. I want to know, who is your favorite solo beatboxer right now?
Bruce One.
Who is your favorite tag team right now?
Spider Horse.
Who is your favorite loop station artist right now?
Say Inky.
Who is your favorite beatbox crew?
Ooh, Beriwa.
What is the best Portuguese food?
Ooh, there's a lot of ones. Let's say francesinha and espetada.
Could you say that one more time? Because I didn't hear you.
Okay, so francesinha and espetada.
We'll talk about that after this section. I want to know what those
Yes,
are.
sir.
What was your favorite time in the online scene?
Ooh, the beginning. Amazing.
Name 3 beatboxers in the online scene that used to be there and they didn't get the recognition they deserve. This is a long question. Didn't get the recognition they deserve, but you wish they would come back.
Ooh. Kinks, Smithy, and Zoe.
My friend Papuni.
I'm just joking with you. Who's your favorite WWF wrestler?
Ooh, The Rock.
What would be your finishing move if MixFX was a wrestler?
Ooh. The Stunner. I don't know. Maybe.
Which wrestler most represents you?
The Big Show.
And last but not least, would you rather have a table, ladder, or chair match, or a TLC match altogether?
A TLC match, for sure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, right there. Rapid fire question was with MixFX. So you said I've been asking people because this show we have the beatbox communities from all around the world, and I personally like to know about people's cuisines. And I've had friends in Toronto that are Portuguese. My neighbors used to be Portuguese, so I've had a bunch of different great meals. But can you explain those 2 that you said, and for what they like? Say it slowly so I can understand it, and what's involved with these dishes. Not beatbox related, people. We're just talking about food for a second. Important.
So francesinha, it's a food originally from the north of the country, in Oporto. It has bread, cheese, meat. It has some sausage, and it has a special sauce. Man, it's amazing. It's amazing. And also espetada. It's my favorite dish. It's very simple. It's just meat on a stick, with some how to say. I don't know how to say this in English, but it's louro and salt. Man, it tastes amazing. So yeah, Portuguese cuisine is very rich in tradition. It's very rich in spices since we discovered the sea path to India. A lot of the spices they bring back from India, and we have a lot of connection with them because of that. And our traditional food has a lot of impact because of those spices. So yeah.
All right. I might have to go. Toronto does have Portuguese restaurants, so I might have to go and take a picture and send it on over to you when I go there to show you and tell me if you think Toronto Portuguese people are doing it right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's next up is
My friend Papuni.
has a few questions for you. Questions from our friend and
My friend Papuni.
My friend Papuni.
My friend Papuni.
has a few questions for you. So he has a question that he's going to say, as a host, I would love this is more of just a statement. He goes,
My friend Papuni.
says, as a host, I would love to know if he can also encourage some of the listeners alongside with myself in the question, what does it take to make a good host?
Ooh. A good host has to know what the event is, has to be there to be the voice of the event, the voice of the brand who invited him to host, and has to be a guy that knows how to entertain, knows how to connect with the crowd he's talking to. And man, being a host for me was just a blessing. I look up to you the most, man, because you just have this energy. It's amazing. I try to get that, not as on point, but man, it's amazing to host. I love it.
Host bros.
Host bros for life.
Yes, brother. I think that's you hit it right on. It's being able to go and definitely pair with your audience and make sure that the focus is on the competitors. Make sure that people are focused on giving that good feedback and get that energy up. Another question from
My friend Papuni.
My friend Papuni.
would like to know what are your special sounds and techniques, and how did you learn to make them complete and well polished?
Ooh, so I love bass lines. I have this deep bass line, which is a mixture of a throat bass with overtones, which is this sound. I also have this bass called Evil Bass, which I got 7 years ago after being very, very committed to listening to Griff. I don't know if you remember Griff.
Of course.
I couldn't do his high pitched thing, so I kind of got the technique, but I was very deep on it. So instead of doing the I went from that to, and I was like, man, I love this. That's Evil Bass. And I was inspired by this German beatboxer called Berliner to do this sound. And I just put it longer and made and added bass on it. So yeah, those are my special sounds. What was the second part of the question again, please?
It was just how did you make it that you could master that sound and make it complete?
Yeah, I just practiced a lot and tried in different styles of beats and tried with different combos. And I guess I kind of do it well in my way of doing it.
Doing it well. All right, another question from
Papuni.
who has another question.
My friend Papuni.
He would like to know, what sounds have you not mastered yet, and what sounds are you currently working on?
I haven't mastered inner bass or lip rolls. And that's fine, people, and that's fine. Not everybody has to do inner bass. Not everybody has to do lip rolls. But I would really love to know how to do these sounds. I'm not very focused on it, but I'm working on it slowly. Yeah.
Inner bass and lip rolls. Good answer.
Yeah.
All right, another question from
My friend Papuni.
My friend Papuni.
he would like to go and ask you, a lot of this we've already covered, but this is another kind of just statement he makes. He says,
My friend Papuni.
you are from Madeira, an island, and he wants you to know that he eagerly waits to meet you at international events. And which events would you like to go to most? He would like to let me tell you that he loves you and he just can't wait to hug, jam, and chill out with him. So what events are you most looking forward to go to live?
Man, I'd say GBB is that place where everybody wants to go, and I would just love to go there and just experience the crowd. Also, I would love to go to Florida. I couldn't go this year, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it for sure. Yeah, man. I love
All
Paponi
right.
too. Big up to Paponi. Thank you for everything, man. Also, this was Paponi's gift to me.
Hey
This
now.
Beatbox shirt. Big up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Host
Smashing
Bros
that.
matching today. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right.
My friend Papuni.
Has another long question, but I'm going to break it down a little bit because he's basically repeating what I've asked you, but I'm going to go and see if there's one out there. Oh,
My friend Papuni.
this is a good one for last question from
My friend Papuni.
and your.
My friend Papuni.
He goes, when are you going to do your next shout out for Swissbeatbox?
Okay. I'm recording this very, very soon. Probably this, I think, next week or in 2 weeks. And yeah, I'm preparing it. Yes.
You heard it here. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. MixFX shout out coming for Swissbeatbox very soon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so people that have been watching online, thank you for tuning in. And there's some questions that the crowd, there's
Yes.
a few questions the crowd had that they want to know. Do you reckon that COVID will affect some of the biggest beatboxers' careers?
Ooh. Damn. Yeah, that's a good question for sure. I think it will affect a little bit, but I think most beatboxers that already have this fan base. Oh, damn. Okay. I reckon that most beatboxers already have this fan base. I think they figured out a way of connecting differently to their crowd. For example, I know that Alem prepared his kits. I know that D-Lo has been doing streams. BMG as well has been doing gaming streams, and it wasn't much affected. Maybe in the show type of outlet, but I think they discovered a different way of approaching their own crowd. Man, shout out to all of these guys really working hard and just putting out best content to the crowd. Culture is such an important part of everybody's lives, and I think most countries don't really appreciate how culture is such a big part of everybody's life. Yeah, big up.
That was a solidly worded answer, my friend. That was a solidly worded answer. All right, another question from the crowd. What is the first beatbox sound you learned in first routine, if you can remember?
Ooh, lip oscillation. This. My first beat was Satisfaction. I was copying Pulpo at the time. Yeah, that was my first. That was my first beat. I couldn't even do kicks or snares. I was just doing that.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Another question from the audience, Fish.
Fish?
They want to know did you ever have a mentor, or who was, I kind of asked you this already, but who would you say would be one of the first people that actually sat there and taught you stuff and took the time? You said Canadian guys, but was there someone that kind of you can sticks out? And this is a little bit further than what they said, but is there someone that kind of sticks out and you're like, oh, I'd like to, or you recognize someone as taking a lot of time and working with you?
Yeah, just going at night and just jamming on Ventrilo with the Canadian guys. I mentioned before, it was very big to me. I've never really got into knowing these beatboxers, and I've never really had that experience at the time, and it was very, very impactful. I had a lot of influence in my style. So shout out to BBK again. Shout out to C Fresh. Shout out to Young, and also Asian Styles. Huge shout out. Oh, also Mitch X. Do you remember
Yes.
Mitch?
Yo, Mitch.
Man.
Mitch
Man.
X. Yeah, man.
I met Mitch here. He has some family from here. He is originally from here, my island, and we met up after so many years. Man, it was an absolute blessing. It was amazing. Shout out to Mitch.
Yeah, man. I love Mitch too, man. He's doing well.
Amazing guy.
Yeah, Mitch is good stuff. All right, another question, Ish.
Ish?
From our audience here. People that have been watching, they want to know, other than hosting battles online, what have you been doing during this pandemic time since it started? Have you picked up any new hobbies? And also, what is your favorite? What games are you playing right now? They want to know what games you're playing right now, and if what else you've been doing.
Yeah, at the beginning of the pandemic, I was really working in events. After being very full with events and having it only on the weekends, I was actually streaming for a while. I was streaming Call of Duty and PUBG and some CS:GO, but suddenly my computer with the updates doesn't really let me stream, so I just started doing other stuff. Just tried to work with my parents, just trying to help them with another stuff that was pending, and just help them with whatever was needed. Yeah.
True. And just to further that question one more time, a little bit. Good on you though. You go, everyone. If you have the opportunity, you take care of your parents and try to help them out as much as you can.
For sure.
But I want to go and ask, what's your favorite out of all those games? What's your favorite game right now? Would you say out of them, if you had to pick only one? Big pressure.
I'd say right now, I'm playing The Division. I haven't really had much time to understand the game before, but right now I'm playing the division with my uncle and one of my cousins, and yeah, it's just been a every day at night a little bit, like 1 hour, 2 hours, just get into the game, just playing together, just have a laugh or two, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
What is a division for someone like me who doesn't really know that much about?
The division is a co-op game. It's in New York City. It's a game. It's during a pandemic as well, and you just go around the city trying to help people fight back the virus and just get their lives back. Just yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the game.
All right. Maybe I'll have to check that out. Even though I don't have a computer that could run it, but maybe I could find it somewhere else. All right, last question from the audience that I've been watching here. They want to know, what is the next battle that you will host or battle in? Both of those. Which battle are you going to battle in next, and what battle are you going to host next? And I'll put it in there too if you have any judging coming up too.
Ooh, I've been involved in a lot of these events this year, so I'm kind of in a break of doing this stuff and just focusing on making, just creating new stuff. I haven't really been practicing beatboxing in a while, so I'm just focusing on that. I bought this new mic and just trying to record some quality stuff, shoutouts that have been pending for years. Yeah, man, just wanna go back and just make music. That's it.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, right there, live and direct. Questions from the audience. We had rapid fire questions and questions from Paponi, but we're building up to it now. We've talked beatbox with you. We've gone through some of your career, what you've been doing. If you have water there and you need to take a little sip right now, you go ahead and do it, because people watch and want you to go and drop some beats. If you be so kind, would you drop some beats for the people that are watching here live with us on Beyond the Beats on Swissbeatbox? Will you do it?
For sure. Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, MixFX coming at you live and direct. I say the 3, y'all say the 2 and the 1. Let's get it in 3.
Shout out for Scott Jackson, host bros. Yeah.
Slapping it up. MixFX.
Yeah.
Portugal's bass cannon. Let's go. One half of the Outsiders. Host bro. Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy.
All right. Before we end this off, is there anything else you'd like to talk about? Or is there something else where I can go and is there something that we forgot to mention that you'd like to talk about? You let me know.
Not really, man. I'm just involved in this in some projects that are coming soon. With some artists, with some brands, and if you guys just tune in my social media, you'll see that there's a lot of stuff going on, and it will still keep going on. Also, this is an important message for all of you guys that like beatboxing. Just go and support the guys you like. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share stuff, because it's very important. Make the artist feel appreciated and make him want to keep doing his art. So shout out for everybody that is struggling with art, struggling with their art form. Huge shout out for everybody.
And before we jump off, where can people follow you and support you as an artist?
Okay, I have my Facebook page. I have my Instagram. I have YouTube. So Instagram at the MixFX, YouTube MixFX, Facebook as well, Twitter as well. So you guys just follow me on socials if you want to see more of me. If you don't, it's fine. Everybody has their taste. Huge shout out to everybody.
Right there, live and direct, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you go and check out MixFX. See him. Going to be putting out some videos soon. He said he'll be at live events when they do come back. He said it here. He confirmed it. He said he's going to be bringing out a Swissbeatbox shoutout very soon as well. So better watch out for that. And Florida Beatbox Battle and other international battles, watch out. There's a new player being announced coming into live events this year.
Yeah.
Watch out for him. Thank you very much, brother, for being on. Big
Thank you,
pleasure
man.
for me. And I hope you keep staying safe, keep staying healthy. Your family and friends all stay safe, healthy, and I'm excited to go and meet you in real life too, brother. So one of these days soon.
Huge shout out to you, man. Huge shout out. Scott is doing everything. This guy is working a lot. Huge shout out to Scott, guys. Just follow Scott as well. He's crazy beatboxer, crazy artist. He's doing a lot of stuff. Big up.
Thank you very much for that, brother. But ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 22, Beyond the Beats, brought to you right here on Swissbeatbox. Make sure that you guys like the video, send it around. And as he said too, one of the most important things was go ahead, support beatboxers. Tell them that what you think of their stuff, share it around, give them likes, give them subscriptions, all those good things. But once again, this has been with MixFX. I'm your host, Scott Jackson. Thank you for tuning in. But let's just go and end off like that, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next time here, where you can find out what's happening beyond the beats. And that's time.